Families depending on Head Start programs can breathe a sigh of relief this morning. Governor Maura Healey has announced that she is advancing previously planned state Head Start supplemental funding for several Head Start programs. As recently as Friday, these programs were facing layoffs of child care providers due to the ongoing federal government shutdown. Head Start serves thousands of families through early education and nutrition services by providing daily meals for these children. With SNAP benefits being a lifeline to many Head Start families, the closure of these schools could affect whether or not these children are able to eat. Governor Healey said, quote, "Without the federal support, many Massachusetts parents will have to make the impossible decision between going to work or caring for their kids." Now, just yesterday, the executive director of the Massachusetts Head Start Association said that due to the shutdown, 6 Massachusetts Head Start programs will not be receiving funding. 4 of those locations in Brockton and Norwood will now be closed tomorrow, leaving 550 children without care and over 150 staff members